when we look at the staffing industry, we have a tendency to be reactive, and it's just a byproduct of the industry. We get an order, we react to the order. We don't get orders, we react to that. We have to go sell more, right? Or we have an order, we don't get enough candidates, we react to that. We post a job listing, we go get more applications. It's a very reactionary industry. How do you propose staffing owners become more proactive instead of reactive?
Well, it's understanding your financials, your data, what is actually happening, looking at your top customers, looking at headcount, looking at margins, looking at your weekly billings. It's all of that information. And working with CFOs, you have an abundance of information. What information do you capture? What is important to you as the business owner? And I'll say one more thing. Our most successful staffing clients, the business owners have surrounded themselves with the right people. It's the team. It's having the operations person. It's having the internal VP who will oversee the financial operations. So when you're the business owner doing everything, it's very hard to be proactive. A client of mine said it best. It's like a horse race. At 6 a.m., the bell goes off. I'm reacting to customers, to vendors, to employees, to family members. And next thing you know, it's 6 o'clock at night, the bell goes off and I got to repeat tomorrow. So having that team, especially as you grow, 21, 22, 23, in some ways was easy. You were just order takers. You didn't have to do anything. The business was coming to you. So a lot of our clients are investing in sales and recruiting, bringing in third parties to kind of re-educate. How do you go back? How do you look at tomorrow on how you sell? I don't know if it was your show or someone else mentioned you may need 70 touches.
That was
It was
us.
an amazing number before you have a sale. So what data, what technology can we use to speed that up?
Yeah, and if you're new to the show and you haven't heard that stat, what we were doing is Brad Smith was at a recent conference and he had heard it take 70 touches, and that was from a CMO of a staffing firm going through their data and seeing that it takes 70 touches, not to land the order, just to land the initial conversation. The landscape is so noisy right now. We have so many options as buyers of t-shirts, of staffing services, whatever it might be. We need to have that repetition and that consistency. And Michael, you had mentioned that, that 6 to 6, you feel like you're just putting out fires all day. I have this running sort of conversation with my wife of whether or not my day was busy or productive. I like to have productive days. I don't want to have busy days. Marty, when you think about what the best staffing firms are doing differently, or the best recruiting firms are doing differently, how do you propose they are proactive instead of reactive to what's going on around them?
I like to talk about it when I see folks successfully navigate from startup to exit. The founder goes through what I call three phases, right? When you found a company, the company is always what I call founder dominant, right? And what does that mean? It means the founder in many ways dominates the firm, usually from a sales perspective or a recruiting perspective, from a personality perspective, from a culture perspective, right? When a firm is founded, you're founder dominant, right? So you got to figure out as a founder how to move through these phases, and that phase is where you're going to start. The next phase is what I call founder led, right? And that's a transition, right? Because you're going from the dominant figure and you want to become more of a CEO. And a CEO is putting in policies, infrastructure, people, teams, right? So they're suddenly leading the company versus dominating the company, right? And then the hardest stage is to go what's called founder inspired, right? Founder inspired is now you're just the inspiration for the company. You're looking at the future. You're seeing where we need to go. You're like a chairman of the board or a chief vision officer, right? So those are the three phases. So if you want to get out of the 6 a.m., I wake up and I'm taking orders, right? You got to progress through those three phases, in my opinion. And you got to get the people, the processes, the practices in place so that you can do that.
From your experience, what's harder? Is it finding the people to enable an owner to do that? Or is it the owner getting out of their own way and enabling themselves to do that?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I think most of the time, honestly, it's the owner gets in their own way, right? I mean, I'm an owner. I'm constantly getting in my own way with respect to my firm, right? If I could get out of my own way, my firm would be at a different place than where it
Yeah.
is today. So I think we unknowingly get in our own way. It's not easy to get people, but if you put the right processes, systems, if you know what you're looking for, if you're building the right culture, you can get the people. Not easy, but you can do it.
Michael, anything to add there?
It is very difficult for owners to give up control. That is the hardest part. Give up control and trusting their people. And as an owner, you have to have a certain leash where mistakes may be made and to learn from them. But you cannot grow as an organization without having the right people. You can only hold so much, right? This is as far as I can grow if I'm going to remain that control freak. And when we look at our best clients, our clients who have grown consistently, who are bucking the trends, they have the right team in place, and the owner is the vision maker. He is what sees. That's what got them to where they are. So you have to have the right people in place in order to grow.